What's up everybody, this is SkyTech Freak and today I'm going to be showing you how to unlock the bootloader on the Xiaomi Mi 10 and install a custom recovery. So TWRP or any other custom recovery. Right now TWRP is the only one that's out, and then also if you want install a custom ROM. So I'm going to be installing xiaomi.eu on this phone. That's again one of the only ROMs that's out for this phone. I think it's the only custom ROM that's out for the phone right now. But with an unlocked bootloader, you can also flash like the global software if you have the China ROM, or if you have the global ROM and you want to flash the China ROM for whatever reason, you can do things like that. But yeah, so before you can actually get to unlocking the bootloader, there are a few steps you need to do in the device. So as you can see, this is the Xiaomi Mi 10. And again, my last video, which was the unboxing of this device, sort of went over the device. There was an overview of the device and an unboxing and just a quick first impressions. I got a lot of support from that video, so I just wanted to bring this video out as soon as possible. But yeah, so let's just go into what we need to set up unlocking the bootloader on this phone. So the first thing you want to do is go into settings, and in my device, you just want to hit my device. Then you want to go to all specs, and basically just hit MIUI version a bunch of times quickly like this until it says you are now a developer. It might ask for your security pin, then you can just enter that. Another thing you need to have before you can move on is basically you need to be signed into your Xiaomi account in settings. So you can just go in and sign into your Xiaomi account, and basically that Xiaomi account should also have the mobile phone number that is in your phone right now. So your phone should have a working SIM card. That SIM card number should be the same one reflected in your Xiaomi account. So when you log into Xiaomi account, you might have used a different number before. Just update it to the number that you have on the SIM card that's in your phone right now. Another thing that's really important is that the SIM card needs to have mobile data for the next step. So anyways, now that you've unlocked developer settings, you want to go down to additional settings, and then down here you see developer settings. There's a few settings you need to turn on. Make sure OEM unlock is turned on. The next thing you want to do is make sure USB debugging is turned on. I don't think that's entirely necessary, but it definitely helps for when your device is on, then to debug things like that. So OEM unlocking, USB debugging, and then when you've done that, when you turn on OEM unlocking, it'll ask you for like, are you sure you want to do this? There are some security risks and things like that. But yeah, do it. Also note that like unlocking bootloader does void warranty and things like that. But again, if you have like a China ROM or something, it's anyways not going to be easy for you to claim warranty if something goes wrong. So it's quite worth doing this. The next thing you want to do is hit Mi unlock status, and basically when you have your account and phone number correctly on this device, logged on this device, you want to hit add account and device. Mine's already logged in, so I'm not actually going to click on this, but what it tells you to do is also turn off Wi-Fi and turn on mobile data. So like I said, you need to have mobile data on your SIM currently. When you have mobile data turned on and Wi-Fi turned on, you hit add account and device. It does something with the phone and the mobile data, and then registers this account to this device, and then basically makes it possible for you to unlock the bootloader. So OEM unlocking, Mi unlock status, registered, add account and device, and of course USB debugging. Once you're done with all that, basically all you want to do is hit reboot, and then basically while rebooting you want to hold the power and volume down buttons, so these two buttons down here, so that you go into Fastboot recovery or Fastboot mode. Let's just see if that works out. There we go. So once you're in this mode, after enabling OEM unlock and USB debugging and registering your device, this is where you want to set up your phone and leave it as of now. I will have to mention there is, like, I had to wait 1 week for the unlock time. So when you plug this into your computer and start working with the tools, all of which I'll link in the description below, all the files you need will be linked. But basically some people have had to wait a week, some people have had to wait like 14 days, and some people have been able to like immediately unlock their device. I don't know how Xiaomi decides that, but there could be a waiting period. But to even know how long you have to wait, you have to do these steps. So let's say it says, oh, you can only do this 1 week later. You'll only know that once you added your device and registered it for it to be unlock viable. If you don't do these steps, the Xiaomi flash tool on your computer will basically be like, oh, it's not verified or something like that. And of course for this you will also need a computer, and I'll show you the next steps on the PC. But this is where you need your device to be to set up everything with all the options in developer settings, like I said, enabled, and your mobile phone in Fastboot mode, and then we can move on to the next steps on PC. Okay, so once you have your phone in fastboot mode with all the options and developer settings unlocked, like I said, you just want to connect it to your phone on one end and then use that wire to connect it to your PC. It'll come up on your computer, the new device has been connected, and it might like automatically install a few drivers. But then, of course, there's going to be a download to the Mi Flash unlock tool. You can see that up here where my cursor is. When you unzip the file, this is the folder you'll get, and you can also just install Mi USB driver, and then there's separate in the zip file is also two separate other files, which is like Mi driver install 64 if you have an x64 computer, or just a normal one. You can just run this one, which is Mi USB driver, and it'll install like the current Fastboot and ADB drivers that you need for your device. Again, I will link this in the description. And again, if you guys have seen one of my earlier videos, which is about how to unlock Xiaomi Mi devices, unlock the bootloader on them with an updated method, this is pretty similar to that, but I feel like this is a new phone. Some things, there are some quirks that might be different, and so I just thought that it might make sense to make this video. Anyways, so once you've installed the drivers here, just install them and your phone comes up connected in fastboot mode again, comes up on your device as a new device or whatever. The next thing you want to do is, and make sure that you already have your phone connected to your computer before you open up the main application, which is Mi Flash Unlock, again linked in the description. Once you open it up, it'll ask you to sign in. Make sure you use the same sign-in details that you had used on your phone and registered your mobile number on. Use those same sign-in details when it asks you to sign in. I've already signed in and it's already registered my phone. Sorry, yeah, it was just taking a little too long to verify if my phone was available for unlock, but yes, it is, and so I just skipped ahead. But now, once you have your phone connected, and if you've done all the steps right, like I have, you basically get this warning message that'll say unlock will erase all your user data. So that's another thing I forgot to mention, but I can tell you now. Basically, back up everything you want on your internal storage. So things like apps, things like internal storage, so photos, music, and things like that. Make sure you have them backed up. You can just back them up on the PC that you've connected your phone to already before you go into fastboot mode. Make sure you have that backup. It will erase straight up everything. When you want to hit unlock and it'll say will erase all phone data, they'll give you another warning. They give you 5 seconds to rethink it. If you've rethought it, you can quit now. Otherwise, you just hit unlock anyway. It will give you another warning for 5 seconds saying that, oh, now you're really going to catch viruses and it's going to be easy for other malware and other people to attack your device. Again, if you're willing to take that risk, which, yeah, I am, unlock anyway. And then it'll start giving you the percentage of how much of the unlocking has actually gone through. Now, verifying device will always go up to 100%, and then it's unlocking where sometimes if you have to wait a certain number of hours, it'll tell you have to wait mine was like something like 170 hours, which is like around a week. Some people have gotten double that, so 300 something hours. Some people, I think, have even gotten a month. I don't know how they decide this, but usually it'll be a week. But I know people that have gotten it instantly, so they didn't have to wait at all. They just registered their device, went into fastboot mode with OEM unlocked, started this process, and they were just able to unlock immediately. Let's see what mine says. Mine says unlocked successfully, and it has rebooted the device on its own, as you can see here. Or it is doing the update which unlocks the bootloader on the phone. And there is an option to reboot phone, but I think it just does that automatically, so you don't really have to click it. We can just wait for another second to see how this boots. This is a first boot, so again, it will probably take longer than usually will. As you can see down here, they're basically showing that something's going on. And yes, this is the stock boot animation. So it looks like the unlock has been successful, but there is one thing you need to verify when you unlock the bootloader to make sure that your bootloader has been unlocked successfully before we can move on to the next step. So as soon as this boots up, I will show you what that step is. All right, so I've just loaded up the first boot, which took way too long, and also like set up the device slightly in English. One thing that's important to note is on the first boot, it's going to ask you a bunch of stuff in Chinese. Basically, you just have to put in the password of your registered Xiaomi account, because now that the device has been linked to that account, on first boot, you're going to have to put in the password of your Xiaomi device. Basically, what I wanted to show you is how to confirm whether or not the bootloader is unlocked. So what you want to do is quickly go in to my device, go down, as you know, to all specs, and just basically get developer settings unlocked again. It'll say you're now a developer. You go down, and again, since on first boot the device is set to 60 hertz, I can like already tell the difference in speed and smoothness of the device. It's amazing that we had 60 hertz screens for so long without noticing. But anyways, additional settings, developer options, and in Mi unlock status, it'll just say unlocked if your device is unlocked. And this is how you know that you have successfully unlocked the device. And then we can move on to the next steps. Again, for the next step, you once again want to reboot your device and put it in fast boot mode. So the way you do that is hold volume down and power so that it boots into fast boot mode, as we will see right now. There we go, fast boot mode. And then what you want to do is once again plug it into your device. If you just wanted to unlock your bootloader, you're done. You don't actually have to go back into fast boot mode now. These next few steps are going to be on how to install a custom recovery and then a custom ROM using that recovery. So we have to move our attention back to the PC at this point. All right, so once you've verified that your phone is indeed unlocked and you've booted it into fast boot mode again, you just need to plug it back into your computer, and then there'll be a zip in the downloads for the minimal EDB and fastboot portable tools. Download that zip, unzip it, and then you should have a folder that looks something like this. These should be the files in that folder. So there'll be EDB and fastboot and CMD as applications in that folder. The other file you need to download is something called TWRP. Let me just make the view to large icon so you can see. So TWRP, it'll actually be named TWRP UMI. So I think when I downloaded the file, it looks something like this, and it'll be an IMG or an image file. You can actually rename that to TWRP to make things easier in terms of flashing the recovery. So that's why mine was actually called TWRP. So yeah, if it is renamed, it'll be downloaded as TWRP.UMI, and UMI because that's the developer name for this phone. For the Mi 10, it's UMI or UMI, and then for Mi 10 Pro, it's CMI. Anyways, so you just want to get rid of that to reduce any confusion. You can leave it on, and then in the main command you can change the name of that as well. But what you want to do is hit hold shift on your keyboard and right click. It will give you an option to open the PowerShell window here, and that's what you want to do. Now, to make sure your phone is successfully connected to your computer in fastboot mode, you want to type in the command fastboot devices, and your device information should show up here. Sorry, I misspelled fastboot. Let's go fastboot devices, and as you can see down here, it says that there is a device that's connected in fastboot. Now the next thing that you need to do, the next command you need to type in, making sure of course that the image file that you downloaded, you need to put that into the same folder as the minimal ADB fastboot. So in the same folder where you have ADB, CMD here and fastboot, you want to copy that image file and put it into that folder after unzipping it. And then you basically just want to type in this command, which is fastboot flash recovery twrp.img. so whatever the name of that file is. So if it is twrp_UMI, you can do that, or you can rename it to twrp.img and just flash this, and then you want to hit enter, and it should actually start sending that to the recovery, which means copying it there. And then the next thing you want to do is be close to your phone, because this next boot is important. Once it's finished that, you want to type in the command fastboot reboot. But before you hit enter, also make sure you're holding down, or as soon as you hit enter, just make sure you're holding down the the volume up and power keys, so that it can boot into recovery mode straight away. So with that, you just want to hit those two keys. So I'm holding down not the volume down key, but the volume up and the power key, and it should technically boot me into TWRP if everything has gone as per plan. And it says down here, so this is another way to verify whether your bootloader is unlocked. It says unlocked down here. All right, after you've done those steps in fastboot, and you've actually flashed the recovery and put in the command fastboot flash recovery twrp or whatever the file name is .img to the recovery, and you flashed it, and and you hit reboot, and then of course, like I told you have to hold the power and the volume up buttons to reboot into recovery. This is the screen you will actually see. Keep in mind that like the first time it boots into recovery, it takes longer than you expect. So it'll show you me and it'll show you unlocked like you just saw, but it might take a few seconds. And don't panic or don't try to restart the phone for a while, because for a few seconds it's just going to be a blank screen, but it will definitely boot into TWRP. I got a little concerned there for a second because I was like, shit, nothing's happening, but you actually don't have to worry about it, because after it says me and unlocked, like it said, you'll also feel a haptic vibration. So when you feel that, you just have to wait, and it will definitely reboot into recovery as long as you had the button combination right and you flashed it correctly using Fastboot. So on first boot to this recovery, actually it's going to first be in Chinese, and then there'll be a button on the bottom right here that lets you choose language. The only two languages that are on this are Chinese and English. You want to go and select English, and then there'll be an option that says allow TWRP to make modifications to the system. So you definitely want to like select that and then do the first swipe, which will set up TWRP. Now you have a custom recovery fully installed on your device. So if that's all you wanted, if you just wanted to flash Magisk or something to the normal ROM, you can fully do that by just copying them over. The reason I'm still connected to, as you can see, I'm still connected to the computer is because TWRP allows the device to be recognized as a USB storage on the computer. So I can go into like my PC or my computer and copy files to Mi 10 or the internal storage of Mi 10. And I mean, I don't have to show you how to do that if you have a Windows computer, which you will need for the rest of this entire video or for the previous part of this video. You just have to go to my PC and you'll see it show up there as long as the drivers and stuff are right. But now specifically to talk about xiaomi.eu, what you want to do is first you want to go to wipe, and you don't want to just format or swipe to factory reset. What you want to do is actually hit format data, and this says format data will wipe all of your apps, backups, videos, media. It removes encryption on the internal device, and this is important because you do want to remove encryption in case while on like after unlocking the bootloader, if you set up a pin or something, which you shouldn't do, but if you like from the cloud back up a pin or something like that, I mean, try not to set up any encryption when you check if it's unlocked. Also, you can just check if it's unlocked, because while booting it'll just say unlocked anyways. But yeah, you do want to format everything, so you just want to hit yes, because it says please type yes to continue. So we do want to do that, and then as long as this takes, it'll probably take a second or two. That actually didn't take that long. You want to go back, and now like I said, because this is actually recognizable on the computer, you just want to go into your computer and copy the xiaomi.eu zip onto your device. Alright, so basically after you're done flashing xiaomi.eu, if that's all you wanted to do, you could just reboot system. I usually wipe cache and Dalvik before doing that, and I'm just going to reboot system now. And just to prove to you that this will actually boot up, let's wait for the boot animation to actually show up. I just felt the haptic feedback that basically says all is good, you're probably going to boot into a ROM. And so that interface you just saw, the TWRP, I think xiaomi.eu also has OTA updates. This is the developer version, sorry, not the developer version, the stable version that I've installed on this. There's also a developer version. I know that the stable version has like OTA, so basically when you download the OTA and select it on your phone, it basically just pushes you back, like it'll reboot into TWRP and flash it for you itself. You don't actually have to choose the files and things like that. But as you can see, xiaomi.eu booting up right now. One thing I just wanted to mention was I tried flashing some versions of Magisk and none of them worked. There's one that's suggested on the xiaomi.eu website, which is 17.1. That basically wouldn't flash. It gave me an error, and xiaomi.eu also say that if you install Magisk or if you try to root, what can happen is your phone could get a little slower or laggy. The fingerprint sensor under the display might have some issues and things like that. So 17.1 just straight up wouldn't flash, and then 20.3, which is the latest version, did actually manage to flash, but then when I rebooted the phone, it was just stuck in boot loop. So I would just suggest maybe like avoiding Magisk, or if you guys figure out which Magisk version does work, let me know and then I can maybe root it, but it's not like a priority for me now. Anyways, let's skip forward to when this device does actually boot, and then we can take it forward from there. So there you go, guys. After what was honestly a pretty excruciatingly long first boot, you get this screen, and here it says your device is locked. So you basically need to log in with, like I said, even on the first boot after your bootloader unlock. Similarly, now it's going to ask you to activate this device using the xiaomi.eu, the Xiaomi account that you had registered on this device or linked this account with. So you just go into settings and you basically connect to the password, the Wi-Fi you want, and then you activate this device. I'm just going to put in my password, and we just hit activate. I'd already put in that password actually, and there we go. MIUI 11. This is the xiaomi.eu ROM. Let's just go through maybe a quick setup. English United Kingdom. There we go, connected to my university Wi-Fi. Agree to all this. Sorry, hit agree to all this, and then we can go forward with that, and then skip the SIM card step, skip this step. I don't have a SIM in. It's going to check for updates. As you can see now, it's actually using a lot of the Google firmware instead of the the MIUI animations and firmware and stuff like that. Now it'll ask me if I want to copy data from previous phones and things like that. Let me just get this device quickly set up, and then we can just take a quick first impressions overview of what's different in xiaomi.eu. Alright guys, so there you go. Now this is a set up xiaomi.eu ROM, and if you're wondering what some of the differences are, of course it's replaced all the Chinese bloatware, and it has Google Play Store stuff integrated. So Google's on this phone, so when you hold the home button, the assistant that shows up is Google Assistant instead of like that pesky Me Assistant and things like that. You'll be able to change the default home screen to whatever you want. No ads, which is something that's like really annoying in a lot of the other apps, MIUI apps. Basically, the advertisements pop up all the time, and so basically it's like a much smoother, oriented for global customers as well. I mean, of course, it has the Chinese language and things like that for Chinese customers, but with Google integration, and it's just a much more fluid, much less irritating because of the ads, and much more accessible to like international consumers version of MIUI. Again, like I said, as soon as there's an AOSP ROM out there, I'm just going to jump on that. But if you guys are interested on maybe a review or like a comparison, because I've used the Xiaomi the Xiaomi firmware ROM, or like the default Xiaomi firmware on this device for like over a week now, because that's how long I had to wait for it to unlock. So if you would like a comparison with MIUI, you can let me know, and we can think about doing something like that. But as of now, guys, I hope this guide was helpful. I hope you guys will follow it, whether it's to install custom ROMs or specifically xiaomi.eu or anything else. But yeah, that's all for now. If you liked it and were able to follow the guide, consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.